At 77, Billy Crystal, Hollywood's beloved comedian, actor, and master of timing, has finally opened up about one of the most influential figures in his life, Don Rickles. Known to the world as the Merchant of Venom, Rickles was a comic unlike any other, fearless, irreverent, and always ready to roast friends, strangers, and audiences alike with cutting wit that left people laughing and squirming at the same time. But for Billy Crystal, the man behind the zingers was more than a comedy legend. He was a mentor, a guide, and someone whose influence shaped Crystal's entire approach to humor and performance. In interviews, Crystal now reveals that Rickles' sharp-tongued humor often masked a deeply generous, loyal, and surprisingly tender personality. While fans saw the barbs, the insults, and the relentless jabs, those close to Rickles knew a man who cared immensely about the people around him. He could make you laugh until you cried, but he could also make you feel seen, valued, and encouraged. Billy Crystal shares stories of long nights in comedy clubs, dinners with friends, and moments backstage where Rickles would offer advice, wisdom, and support that few ever witnessed. In his own words, Crystal says that Don Rickles taught him that comedy wasn't just about jokes, it was about timing, respect, and understanding the human heart beneath the punchlines. Crystal also reflects on the tension that came with Rickles' persona. On stage, Rickles was unpredictable, fearless, and sometimes ruthless, but off stage, he was thoughtful, careful, and intentional. Learning to navigate that dynamic was a masterclass in performance for Crystal. He recalls times when Rickles would insult him during rehearsals or live performances, only to pull him aside later with guidance, encouragement, or subtle reassurance. It was mentorship wrapped in humor, a balancing act of laughter and life lessons that left a lasting impact. But what makes this revelation particularly touching is the emotional depth Crystal brings when speaking about their friendship. He recalls Rickles' later years, when health struggles and the slowing pace of life allowed his warmth, generosity, and humanity to shine even brighter. Crystal describes moments filled with quiet conversation, shared memories, and laughter that didn't need an audience, just two friends reflecting on decades in show business. For Crystal, understanding the men behind the comic legend has been a lifelong process, one that culminates now in this candid reflection. Ultimately, Billy Crystal's truth about Don Rickles is simple, yet profound. The man who could make the world laugh with cutting-edge humor was also capable of incredible kindness, mentorship, and heart. It's a reminder that legends aren't just measured by their talent, fame, or jokes, they're measured by the lives they touch, the lessons they leave behind, and the friendships that survive the spotlight. At 77, Crystal's reflections honor Rickles' legacy not just as a comic genius, but as a man whose humor was inseparable from his humanity.